Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am the usual host and presenter, Advocate Fuloyani. So the drama that we saw in the Pretoria High Court yesterday is beginning to make sense now. The SAPS has released a statement or has confirmed that at least 3 men were taken out of the Pretoria High Court yesterday for questioning by the police. The statement by the South African Police Service did not actually go as far as saying that these men had been arrested. All that the statement said was that they had been taken in for questioning and profiling by the police. And how does that function? Let me unbundle it all for you. It would appear that there's been an ongoing investigation by the police, and that investigation has revealed that over a period of time, there have been some individuals who have been attending the MEYIWA trial with an intention to harm the state. And who is the state here? The state here is the prosecution ordinarily. So that would be Baloyi and his junior, Dr. Sibanda. These two people face threats from some people for some reason, for some unknown reason at this stage, and their lives are in danger. In other words, their threat, the threat levels against them are quite high. That is why we saw yesterday the court having to adjourn, possibly to address these issues. And you will recall that the court adjourned at that stage when we had to get into the statement of Sfiso Zungu. And because of this development, the court then had to adjourn. So this is the position that we find ourselves in. The MEYIWA trial has been a long trial. Now we are seeing all these developments coming up of threats against the state. One just wonders who it is that would have any intentions of harming the state, because I don't see how that would possibly advance the interests of anyone. If you start harming people or eliminating them or killing them, how does that enhance anybody's case before that court? Anyway, that is the information, and it is a very, very disturbing information, and this is a developing story, like I indicated yesterday when the story broke. So in subsequent editions, I'll be giving you, or I am intending to come up with updates around the story as it develops, and I will keep you updated. Let us just, say to ourselves, who can it be that is, behind, by way of speculation? Who can possibly be behind all this? And to what effect? We know, for instance, that, there's a lot of dissatisfaction that some of us have voiced about proceedings in that courtroom. But that kind of, dissatisfaction or disgruntlement with what is going on there, I don't think merits any or warrants any violence on the part of anybody towards the state. So in a sense, this is a very disturbing development. But investigations are underway. Investigations are underway, and it seems to be a very, very serious thing, given that, the court yesterday had to adjourn. Just to give you an indication of, the seriousness of this matter. Because I don't think if it was not that serious, the court would have had to adjourn. But the court had to adjourn. Because when this thing first broke yesterday, some of us were asking ourselves whether it has got anything to do with the Senzo Meyiwa trial itself. And what it has now come to light that in fact it has a lot to do with the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Why all these things are happening at this stage? Your guess is as good as mine. Like I've indicated earlier on that the trial has been going on for quite some time now. And why I have no idea why all this is happening at this time. And I categorically want to state that there can be no justification for any form of violence coming from any quarter for whatever reason. Violence is not the way to go here. Some of us have always advocated that we want to see a fair trial, and that is how we see things panning out in that Pretoria High Court. We want to see justice for Senzo Meyiwa done, and the testimony of Sifiso Zungu will be very important in that regard, and we had reached a very, very critical stage in this trial. But that is where we are, and like they say, it is what it is. Violence is now being threatened against Baloyi and possibly his junior. We don't know whether that threat, because the reference was just made to the state, but ordinarily, like I said, the state would be by the prosecution. We don't know whether those threats will extend to the judge himself. The story is developing. Keep close to the Daily Fix, and I will be giving you regular updates as the story develops. This morning we are expecting the court to convene at about 10 a.m. and perhaps we'll get an update from the defense counsels about what the situation is, and we'll be able to get some kind of indication about whether this thing has sort of abated. But having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the views and subscriptions that I'm seeing, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.